Hi, I'm Novel Mike, and this is my opinion. So I'm going to talk about Bethesda's E3 press conference, and they started off really well. They started off with Quake Champions, one of the few things that didn't get leaked. Out of all the stuff that was rumored for and leaked for Bethesda, Quake seemed like the most unlikely thing to see, especially since Doom just came out. But yeah, Quake Champions, it was just a CG trailer. Looks like it's possibly going to be like a hero shooter kind of thing instead of just a normal Quake game, but we'll see. They won't show anything until QuakeCon in August, really. So just have to wait for that, really. Then they showed Elder Scrolls Legends. That's the card game. Meh. Uh, it, I like card games for the most part, but like it just looks just like Hearthstone. It doesn't look like it's doing all that much different. It's just their take on it because Hearthstone's been a big success. It that game needs to justify its existence with the rest of the games they're talking about, and it has not done that for me at all. And I think that's the same way for a lot of people. Then they talked about Fallout 4 DLC. They've got Contraptions coming out next week, which is going to be settlement building stuff where you can make like conveyor belts, and they showed like you can put like a ball on a track and have it go like on stuff, and looked interesting at the very least. Something to mess around with, I guess. It doesn't look like it's going to be a big update. Next month they're going to have create your own vault where you're going to be able to use the settlement stuff to actually make a vault. That sounds interesting. And you're going to be able to like experiment on your vault and stuff like that. I don't know that there's going to be enough there for it to be really that good or that in depth, but the modding community might make more happen. We'll have to wait and see on that. And then in August they're going to have a Nuka World, which that should be pretty cool. Just a Nuka-Cola themed theme park. Don't know what exactly it's going to be yet. They didn't really show much on that. Then they talked about the Skyrim remaster that's coming out later this year. $60 I think is a lot for that since it's just the one game, but Skyrim is a big game, and I have to admit that even the visuals I was pleasantly surprised by. I was not expecting it to look as good as it did. And it's going to have mod support on console, which is really good. Then Prey happened. This was leaked years ago that they were working on a new Prey game. Was just called Prey 2. It's reimagined. It's nothing like the first game or nothing like what they originally showed for the second game. Looks like it's more based off of something like System Shock than what the original Prey was. But color me intrigued. The trailer itself looked good. I like the themes of it. I just wish that it wasn't so much CG. We didn't really get a good idea what exactly it's going to be, but it'll be out next year. Then they talked about Doom DLC. Just moving on. They're also going to have they have a Doom demo coming out, so that's good. That leads me to think they didn't talk about how well Doom sold, so I imagine it's not met their expectations in sales. Like I know it has in reviews. Like people have loved it that have played it, but like people like me, it's just like there's so many other games I just don't have time for Doom right now. So a demo might help that. That's probably why they did a demo of it, just so that that way they can try to boost some sales so people can actually get it in their hands and try it, and then they'll hopefully like it. Then talked about Elder Scrolls Online, Dark Brotherhood DLC. That's something that was definitely missing from the game originally, and I'm glad to see it happen. I still don't have a ton of interest in Elder Scrolls Online. They did say later this year they're going to have like a system where basically you can go to any area and just explore. You won't need to be a certain level. Like in most MMOs, you go to different areas as you level up, which is what Elder Scrolls Online did originally. And as you level up, you go into different areas. Now you'll just be able to go wherever you want, even if you're at like level 5 or whatever. Don't know exactly how that's going to work, if it's like the level scaling like Final Fantasy 11 has, or if it's just something different, but could be interesting. It would give the game something that I think it definitely lacked with Elder Scrolls Online, is that it didn't have that feel of exploration because you were locked into wherever your quests were to do those objectives, and then you eventually go on to different things instead of just going wherever you want like a normal Elder Scrolls game. Then they talked about VR. Doom is going to have some kind of exploring hell thing. I don't know if that's a game. I don't know if it's the Doom game or if it's just like a visual movie kind of thing. We'll have to wait and see. And then Fallout 4 is coming to VR next year. Both of these will be on the HTC Vive. So that's interesting. That's a pretty big exclusive for Vive. Although right now I think VR is not doing so well. Um, they ended up with Dishonored 2 as the game they showcased at the very end. Spent a lot of time on it. I still haven't played Dishonored 1. I need to do that. I think I said when I did a video on Bethesda last year when they first showed it that I needed to play Dishonored 1 because the trailer for Dishonored 2 made me want to play it. Still the same case. I just haven't done it yet. And what they showed was good. Like some of it was good. Some of it was just very boring. Like they showed the environments and like they were trying to talk up the detail in every area, but it was just all visual. It wasn't really showing you like what gets me involved in a game that's big and open like those are is the little stories that you find along the way. That's one reason like games like Fallout and Skyrim and Witcher are so popular is because it's the little stories that can have the biggest impact. They didn't really show that with that trailer. There was just like, oh hey, here look, here's a city and we did all this work on this city and this section and this robot, and less of, oh hey, here's the little story you can see from this. The game still looks really good. They showed this time travel mechanic that towards the end that looked really awesome, and overall, I probably will play that game whenever I play Dishonored 1. And it just didn't. They ended it with a trailer of pretty much everything we had just seen, and they were talking about it being like the world reveal of the gameplay trailer. It's like they should have opened with that and ended with something else. In general, I don't think Dishonored 2 was the thing to really hedge their show on because it doesn't have the power of Fallout 4. Like Fallout 4 last year is one of the reasons that they did so well is because there's so many unexpected surprises with it. Where Dishonored 2, I think a lot of people knew what we were getting with that already, and there wasn't a ton of stuff revealed about it that we didn't already know or didn't already expect. And I don't think the popularity is quite there for Dishonored 2 to really hold its own. I think they should have done either Quake or Prey as the opener and then the other one as the ending, and Dishonored 2 should have been before that. After the press conference, though, one of the things they showed early on, like as it started, was this like little DOS boot up thing, and from that they actually had a teaser for a new Wolfenstein game, which what we're assuming is Wolfenstein because it's listed with the other Wolfenstein games, called a New Colossus. No info on that. It was just like a tease on that before they started up the thing with Quake. So that's a little interesting. Wolfenstein was being pretty heavily like hinted at in a lot of the leaks and stuff like that since the last one came out. The expansion for the last one came out last year, so it wouldn't be surprising if they're already working on a new game. And it was pretty surprising to see Quake show up, but not Wolfenstein. But it sounds like both of them are being worked on at the very least. Overall, so they didn't do as well as last year. I think that's a given. Like they had Fallout 4, they revealed Dishonored, then they had a bunch of other stuff. They started with Doom, which showed gameplay, which was great. Was really awesome looking, and then they just didn't do anywhere near the same thing. There was a lot more CG trailers, not a lot of gameplay, and it definitely felt weaker than last year. It wasn't bad. It wasn't like how EA did earlier with their first press conference of E3, and EA's was just terrible. Like that is the worst way to kick off E3 is with a bad press conference, but it could have been better. I think I'd scored a 6 out of 10 overall. It could have been much worse, especially if they didn't have some new announcements. Excuse me, especially if stuff, everything had leaked like Quake. But it would have been better if other stuff had leaked, like the Skyrim remaster and some other stuff. And the biggest problem I had is like the big demo they showed for the entire thing was Dishonored 2, and I think they didn't structure it well, and I think that some of the things they showed people aren't really that interested in. They want to see the story, they want to see the combat, and we only saw little pieces of that, and they spend more time talking about the environments and what the world is and that kind of thing, and that's not nearly as interesting as what they could have shown for it. But still makes me want to play almost all their games besides Elder Scrolls Legends. I'll probably try the Doom demo, and hopefully it will not make me buy it because, God, I have too many games to play right now. But anyway, that's my opinion. I'm Novel Mike. Thank you for watching, and I will make many more videos probably tomorrow for all the press conferences today. I'll try to get some out if I can today, but it's a pretty packed schedule, so we'll see what happens. Thanks.